Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rosalinda Berico, your reporter for this afternoon. And for the continuation of our report, my topic is all about minor troubles and their causes. The first minor troubles in sewing machine is a tangled thread at the beginning. If your sewing machine thread is not properly threaded, the bobbin thread won't be pulled up into the fabric the way it needs to be. So, occasionally, the upper thread can catch on a moving part of or get stuck, which impedes the easy flow of the thread through the needle, and it creates a tangle. One of the causes of a tangled thread at the beginning is the bobbin too full. The second, the bobbin set in the wrong direction. Third is the under thread not drawn up. And the fourth is both threads not pulled back under the presser foot. And the last one is the machine not properly oiled and clean. This is the example of a tangled thread. The next minor trouble is the skip stitches. Usually, it is caused by an old or worn needle. With every stitch, there is a friction placed on the point of the needle, and with repeated action, the needle experiences abrasion. So over time, the needle becomes dull and doesn't perform well. So this results in skip stitches. One of the causes of a skip stitches is the needle bent, the needle set with long groove turned to wrong side, the needle inserted too high or too low in the needle bar, the needle is too small, the needle threaded from wrong side, and excess oil on the shuttle. So this is the example of a skip stitches. Upper thread breaking. A broken upper thread means the sewing machine has failed to operate normally and is not able to sew the fabrics firmly. So one of the causes of upper thread breaking is the poor thread, the machine incorrectly threaded, the needle set on the wrong side, the needle is too fine for threading, the upper tension is too tight, the sharp edge on needle plate, hole, or shuttle, and the thread take-up spring broken. So this is the example of upper thread breaking. Next is the lower thread breaking. It is the wrong thread tension and issues in bobbin case makes the lower thread break easily. One of the causes is the poor thread. The lower tension is too tight. The bobbin case threaded wrongly. The sharp edge on needle plate. The bobbin wound too full or uneven. And the dirt in bobbin case. So this is the example of the lower thread breaking. The fabric puckering. When the tension pucker is caused while sewing with too much tension, thereby causing a stretch in the thread. So after sewing, the thread relaxes as it attempts to recover its original length. It gathers up to the seam, causing the pucker, which cannot be immediately seen and may be noticeable at later stage. So one of the causes of fabric puckering is one or both tension is too tight. Second, stitch too long for material being sewn. And lastly, the blunt needle. This is the example of a fabric puckering. Next is the needle break. A sewing machine needle can break for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it is operator error, and sometimes the needle is damaged, the needle is not correctly inserted, they use the wrong needle for the fabric and the wrong presser foot is attached. So one of the causes of a needle breaking is the incorrect size of needle for thread and fabric. Second, the needle is blunt. Then, pulling of material while stitching. Next is the presser foot incorrectly set. And lastly, crossing a thick seam using too small needle. So this is the example of a needle breaking. Staggered stitches. It can be caused by yarn in the fabric deflecting the needle away from a straight line of stitching, giving a poor appearance. In some hard-woven fabrics, straight stitching will only be achieved at a slight angle bias. One of the causes of staggered stitches is too little pressure on presser foot and take up spring wick broken or missing. So this is the example of a staggered stitches. Next is the uneven stitch length. Uneven stitching is caused by machine difficulties or by using the wrong size of needle for your fabric. So one of the causes of a uneven stitch length is incorrect presser foot pressure and feed dog dirty or worn out. So this is the example of uneven stitch length. Next minor trouble is the material not feeding correctly. One of the causes is the stitch regulator set too close to 0 point and dirt under needle plate near feed dog. Then, incorrect presser foot pressure, and lastly, the bent presser foot. The last minor troubles of sewing machine is the machine runs heavily. One of the causes why machine runs heavily is the lack of oil, thread wound round wheel or treadle bearings, the belt is too tight, the bobbin winder pressed down, the thread jam in shuttle race, and gun oil or dirt on bearing. That's all guys. Thank you for listening.